Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shinado Shades and you're watching Shinado Shades. In our fascinating lifestyle of being a tech bro, I'm going to be sharing with you today some tips that you must know as a tech bro or a skillful person. So stay tuned while we actually share those tips with you. One of the most important things you must know is knowing the fundamental of your skill. We might actually look at complexity at a certain scenario, or as a beginner you might look at something and consider it to be complex, but it's not as complex as you think. And from the idea of complexity, it's only a component of the fundamentals that have actually happened over time that creates the idea of complexity, right? So it's kind of important for you to understand the point of where your basics are, and you will never be able to understand that if you don't have a good roadmap. So it's also important that you actually get a good roadmap. And I had a very big deficiency when it came to the idea of me wanting to learn this programming skill in my life back in 2009. I would just go to YouTube, or I just get to learn from someone, and my idea of having a good roadmap to learn the fundamentals was actually distorted. It's not like I wasn't getting projects or jobs to do, but I got to notice at a certain point that I need to actually learn the basics of this thing. So I had someone who helped me with this, and he gave me the opportunity to create a roadmap for myself, and that gave me an opportunity to understand the fundamental. Another case where I got to realize that the fundamental was important was I spent 5 days trying to work on a PHP code back in 2010, and it was really crazy. It really distorted my head to a point where I was even crying at a certain point. So while I was crying, and immediately while I was crying, I saw the solution to that problem. And when I noticed the solution to that problem, I just started laughing while I was crying. Like, it was crazy. Like it was really crazy. And ever since then, that scenario puts me at a position where I would want to encourage myself to learn the fundamentals as much as possible in my life, kind of. In as much as we do have the idea of the fact that we are getting to a certain point where our skills are actually recognized, it's important we get to keep on reinventing ourselves by learning more and more. Back a few years ago, we were actually dealing with cPanel and a little bit of cloud resources to an extent. And as a DevOps engineer, it's important to actually figure out how you can be able to transition from understanding the point of cPanel to moving into a cloud system. And your learning skills should at least be directly proportional to what the market demands at that certain part of the niche. So try to put yourself on the concept of the fact that continuous learning is actually important in your life as long as your skill is concerned and you want to remain relevant in the space. I believe it's kind of necessary for you to get to understand the trends, the tools, and the frameworks that are being leveraged on to get jobs as quick as possible, or to leverage on the science behind the skill you are actually trying to develop. There's no limit to which you can be able to actually learn. So you can learn from anybody, learn as much as possible from anybody, even as much as a junior developer, or a senior developer, or intermediate, whatever the case may be. I'm in a group of almost 200 developers, and I've been given a privilege on myself to actually lead this team. And in as much as I post some things in the group, it gives me an understanding that when some people disagree with me, I get to understand the fact that the idea of knowledge is not a one-way street, but actually has many branches. So you can learn from anybody, and do not feel bad when you're actually countered when it comes to the idea of your skill or your knowledge, whatever the case may be, whether in the job market or in the skill you're doing. So there's no limit to your continuous learning. You need to learn as much as possible, and you can also learn from going for seminars, going for boot camps, going for meetups, and it actually gives you an opportunity to stay updated in things that are actually going on. Even if you are not going to be participating, working on improving them, at least you have the knowledge that you can be able to showcase the idea of the fact that you can be able to do it, because technology has given us the opportunity to create as many things as we need to. Right now, click the next video to watch the next 2 tips of the things you must know as a tech bro. Join the Shades movement today by actually liking this video, subscribe to my channel, and also click the notification bell for more videos like this